Welcome, everybody, to the wonderful world of Mr. Wade. Today we will be learning fixed effects in Premiere Pro. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm going to start at the very beginning with New Project. You should have noticed a new folder in Google Classroom entitled The Punch. You can go ahead and download that onto your desktop and set the location for that. I will be naming this document 2020 Mr. Wade, or The Punch, and then your name, in this case, Mr. Wade. All right, so here we go. I'm going to just guide you through this from beginning to end. First, we're going to be importing files. Remember, you can just double click on files to get access to these. And here we go. All right, so the first item of business, and this is pretty important, you want to be starting with the video file that says The Punch, because this is what we're going to be doing all of our work with today, and you want to make sure that you're using this particular file, because otherwise your sequence settings will be based upon other ones. So you want to make sure that you're using this one. All right, so the first item of business is just determining our in and out points. As you can imagine, this particular sequence involves a woman punching a man. This is the assistant principal from my old school. All right, so I'm pressing I to start the end point, and then boom. I'm going to set the O point where she continues to look at him, but she's punched him out of frame. All right, so I'm going to click this, and I'm going to drag it into the timeline. All right, so the effects that we're going to be working on today are fixed effects. And fixed effects are going to be preset values that can be found in any shot. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking on the first shot. By the way, I've dragged the playhead to the beginning of where the punch starts. And this is where I'm going to begin playing around with fixed effects. First, with something called time remapping. So I've already got this selected. What you're going to do is you're going to click on this clock to toggle the animation. Animation is basically referring to like changing the values over the course of a video. In this case, we can speed things up and we can slow things down. All right, I'm going to be clicking on this little diamond to set a keyframe. And a keyframe is a point in the film where you would like to change something. It could be time, it could be movement, it could be scale. And you can do this by clicking on these little diamonds, or you can also go to the timeline, hold the command or control button, and click. And that is our first keyframe. All right, so with time remapping, you can speed up or slow down things in the shot. And this is especially good because like in a lot of programs, you can just speed things up without also slowing them down. So I'll show you how this works. I'm clicking and dragging up. So this is going to speed up the remainder of the shot, and you can see it here. Let's take a look. Okay, still not very good, but faster. Let's speed it up some more. I'm going to about 366 a second. Let's see how this goes. Okay. So this is my assistant principal. She's not a good stunt person. I didn't want her hurting her husband. So I had her hit him slow-mo, and I was going to speed it up here. So what I'm looking for is when he stops getting hit, about right there, when he stops moving. All right, so this is where I will resume speed back to normal. So I'm hitting the diamond again, and then it's not much, but if you zoom in here, you can see the rest of the clip. Now I'm going to drag this back down to, let's go back to 100, where we were, velocity 100 a second. Okay, so this is speeding the punch, and then it's stopping after he gets hit. This will be better with the sound effects. So I'm going to add a sound effect now. You have a menu of different punches you can use, but you can just drag in. And you can see where the punch starts in the wavelength on the audio track. So let's see. Pretty good. All right, so we're going to continue to play around with fixed effects. All right, so another thing that we can do is we can zoom in and we can move around things. All right, so first we're going to go up here. I want you to toggle position and I want you to toggle scale. All right, so position can move things around the frame and scale can increase or decrease the size of it. And the reason why I want to do this is to create more of a dramatic zoom effect. And I'm going to do it like right before she starts punching. So I can do it like right here actually, where the punch is. All right, so I'm dropping in 2 keyframes. And by the way, I have 2 keyframes already set in the beginning. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is first I'm going to change the scale of this. All right, so scale is selected, and I'm going to click this and drag in. Okay, and you know, this is a pretty dramatic thing that I'm doing just to teach you how to do it. You wouldn't want to zoom in this close in real life because you see the quality is diminished. All right, so I've blown it up 4 times, and I also changed the position by playing around with the X and Y axis here. So what this is going to do, if I go back to the beginning,
don't be reckless with other people's hearts.
It zooms in.
Don't be reckless with other people's hearts.
And it's zooming in because it's increasing the scale from 100 to 400. And I'm also changing the position because if the position isn't working, if I like, for instance, oops, if I were to deactivate this, then like instead of looking at her face, we would probably be looking over here into the kitchen itself. All right, so that is some basics. And another thing that I'm just going to throw in here for fun is another thing that you can do is you can fade in the opacity. And you can do this for a variety of reasons, but I'll just do it quickly here to show you how it's done. Okay, so this is the end of the shot. I'm clicking on the punch shot again. So something that we can do is we can kind of fade things out. Opacity is like the amount of light present. So I'm going to click, I'll start with after the punch because it's not very long. I'll click there. We have a keyframe set there in the beginning, and then I'm going to go to the end of it, the end of the shot, which is, I guess, right here. And I'm going to add a keyframe. Okay, so then I'm going to drop it to 0. And so what this should do is it should fade out. Okay, it's not working out. Maybe I have too many effects running right now. So I'll do opacity some of the time. Okay, so that is it. These are fixed effects that you can change by adding keyframes through toggling the animation clocks. And you can change position, scale, you can spin things around, you can fade in, fade out, and you can also change the time. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a nice day, everybody.